about. What a breakdown. See how that ended? I'm loving this end as well.
Yeah,
beautiful.
Yes, sir.
Yes, it's the millennial load up, man. We're back. We back. You know, it's the place for culture, sports and music, and that was beautiful. That was Livi Tiz, in the building. In the building.
Yes.
Tell us about that song, man. What's that song called?
That song was called Candy Darling.
Amazing. Candy Darling.
Yeah, it actually dropped, I want to say just before lockdown.
Okay.
Lockdown was such a blur, but
that was a vibe.
Was fun.
That was vibe. That was a vibe.
I saw the video to that as well.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Yes. So that's the video where you're in the bar and everything.
Yeah, with a candy world kind of theme.
Yeah. Listen, that's what I'm saying. I was like, okay, you're doing your thing. Nice. You're doing your thing for real.
I like to take care of my visuals,
Nah, I love that.
No, definitely, man. But what else you played there, Larry, man? Talk to me.
That was Candy Rain. We also had Anther Rose,
Yeah.
And that was it. We just played two songs, Anther Rose, Fade to Black.
And we're good, man. But yeah, listen, when you load up, you guys log in, ilivuk.com. You know what it is. If you got the studio number, if you want a shout out, because I got so many people hitting my phone, 07564 265 257. Of course, myself, Boss Tips, Trip Larry in the car as well.
You know the vibes.
Yeah, man. But yeah, we got a special guest in the building.
Yes, we do. We do. And it's one that we're excited to kind of have you here, and what we like to do at Millennial Load Up, and I think it's a platform to really shine the artist and have a breakdown to see where the artist comes from, the background, and your inspiration,
Yeah, man.
We're gonna take it back a little bit.
Throw it back.
Just a little bit,
Okay.
So who's Livi Tiz? That's the first question.
Hey.
Livi Tiz.
The artist, because we had this whole situation with Renz, and then he was talking about, bro, hey, dude, man, that's another conversation.
Yeah, that is definitely a conversation.
It's a crazy conversation. I
didn't think about it like that.
She's gonna be like, who wants to know? Who wants to know?
Yeah, there's two.
But so Livi Tiz the artist.
Yes.
Tell us about Livi Tiz the artist.
Yes, Livi Tiz the artist is someone that enjoys life.
Hey.
Someone that takes the fruits of life and really squeezes, the lemons and makes it into a beautiful lemonade. And it's just
love that.
Enjoyment, that's what I want to give out as an artist. I want people to experience my music and to experience enjoyment in some form,
I love that.
You can tell she's an artist, innit, with the poetry.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Listen, take life and squeeze lemons. You know what I mean?
Tone of voice.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's
and it's the patience between
that's
each
what it
line.
is. I feel everyone has to go like this now. Yeah, come on.
Poetry jam, you'll see me there real soon.
But no, that's cool, man. So in terms of getting into music anyway, so what did you have a music background, or was it something that you just did as a hobby?
Definitely had a music background, which is far from, I guess, art. Well, not necessarily, but I started off playing classical music. I was playing violin for 12 or 14 years.
That's dope.
Yeah,
really?
I was in orchestras and everything. Before we was on air, we was talking about Croydon.
Oh yeah.
And I was playing
that village.
Big up the ends each and every time. You need your passport to get in.
Literally.
I used to play at Fairfield halls and stuff. And I was young. I was under the age of 10 years old, and I was playing in front of thousands of people, in orchestras, which was, I guess, what made me experience stage for the first time.
What was it about it? You know what I mean? You could always say, okay, was it the performing of it? Was it the feedback? Was it, just how it made you feel when you struck a chord?
It was always the experience of the crowd. At the end when everyone's clapping and they're just so happy and impressed by what you've given them. This piece of art that you worked so hard for months. We was in rehearsals maybe a couple times a week. Obviously, as you got closer, it was way more intense than that. But, for months.
Yeah.
And every day after school, you're playing, you're practicing, and then it comes to this moment, and then like I said, my thing is to give joy, and then when they experience it and they enjoy it, they give you joy back through the clapping, through the cheering, and it's just an exchange.
Rewarding.
It's an exchange of positivity.
Yeah, it is.
yeah, that's kind of where it started for me.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. So when at some point you must have, you know, I don't know the timeline, you know, but when did you start to see things changing? You know what? Like, yo, I can
make
like,
something
you know
like
what?
this. I can
Because you
make
started with
something like this.
violin,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, what was the transition? When, you know, why didn't you just go violin school? You know,
Yeah.
you know, it's there.
All the way. I mean, I think for me, I studied music in school. So, you know, you start your GCSEs at what, like 13, 14, 14 maybe?
14, 15.
Yeah.
What, are you talking GCSEs?
GCSEs
Yeah,
like
GCSEs.
15,
Yeah,
16.
15, 16.
Yeah.
14,
So-
15, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. So
Yeah.
from then I studied music, and, you know, GCSEs take up quite a lot of your curriculum.
They shagged me, you know, but, you know, this just they didn't let me do it.
We'll get into that one.
It's long.
But yeah, I studied that, and you often learn to make music with different instruments. So obviously I already had a violin background, and then you'd learn to play piano
Yeah.
or, like, you know, keys if we do a lot of production.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I've always liked, I like talking, so I like lyrics. I like, you know, I like the spitting. I like
We know.
the words.
We know.
You know, as you can tell.
Spoken words.
As you can tell. So for me, a piece of music can be like articulated a lot easier or a lot clearer when you have lyrics, whether
Yeah.
they're literal or whether they're poetic or whatever it may be. So I guess I always wanted to, when we created these pieces of production, these pieces of music, it was always natural for me to like, oh, like, you know, let's put a vocal on it, or let's put a voice on it. And I think that's where it came for me around that age, like 14, 15, like, oh, okay, like I can sing on my own stuff, or I can say things on my own pieces of music.
Yeah.
And yeah. Here
So
we
what
are.
you think? Because obviously, you know, as artists, I feel like there is a point where, you know, did you ever feel self-conscious?
Self-conscious. Oh, always. I would
Yeah.
say I didn't come out of, so let's say at like 14, 15 is when I started singing, like, properly. I probably didn't release my first piece of music till like 5 or 6 years later,
Right.
because I was so worried about people's opinions
Right.
for such a long time.
Yeah.
And
So-
I guess that happens with most artists at the end of the day, like,
Yeah.
because you're self-conscious about your art,
Yeah.
and you're like, you know, I want to do this, I want to make sure that it's right, especially in the society that we're living now, where everything's so
Social
judgmental.
media.
Do you know what I
Right.
mean? So
It was
Yeah.
peak back then.
People's
yeah.
sensitive.
It was peak.
yeah, people are sensitive. So
Yeah.
like, no, I appreciate that, because I know everyone goes through that journey, and it's kind of like, I know there's barriers and there's ways to break out of it, and people do it in different ways as well.
Yeah, like, yeah, I guess music is always like people always say a form of expression, but me, it's a fun way of expressing.
It
Like,
is.
it's-
It's meant to be.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
It creates, you know, I can express myself, but I can in a fun way. Like, I
Yeah.
always want to positively remember music with, you know, like, create that positive environment. So, you know, when you want to create something positive, and then you have that moment, that buffer moment where you're like, oh, if I release this, is everyone going to take it as positively or as fun as I take it?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, if someone takes it bad, it
Does that ruin it?
it can, yeah, it can strike a nerve. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
but for
yeah.
so long, I didn't know whether that was going to be the reception. I just never went for it.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
like Erica
Yeah.
Badu said, innit? We artists, and we're sensitive about our ish.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
sensitive
yeah,
about
you know.
our art, especially when you put so much time into it,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
people don't appreciate it. You're
Yeah,
like,
for real.
it's like, oh, okay, like
Yeah.
it can knock, like, depending on who you are, it can knock you to maybe never make music again, God forbid. But sometimes it can knock you to be, you know, make
yeah,
better
yeah.
music.
Yeah, it can push you.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think most of the time that, like, if anything, 99% of the time, you're just overthinking the situation.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
Like, because when you put it out there, I say it to you guys all the time. When you put it out there and you
Don't-
get the
don't start,
feedback,
don't
you're like, oh, I will start on you today. Don't worry. But and you're like, this is hard. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? You know what you kind of know what you're doing, and you give yourself that self-confidence.
Yeah.
And you're always gonna have someone that's not gonna like it, right?
Of course.
Yeah, naturally.
do you know what I
Of
mean?
course.
Naturally, it happens.
I'm
as
seeing
well.
artists that are now, like, you know, they're probably getting to a place when they're getting millions of streams. But at the same time, you see, for example, places like certain social media places that have a bird on it.
Yeah.
There's certain conversations about these people.
You say certain social media places with birds. A bird on
I
it.
ain't gonna give them, you know. I ain't gonna give
No hints
You know what's
there.
funny?
No hints, but
He's
it
the
begins
bird-
with
anyway,
T.
He's the bird man.
T.
He knows a bird man. That's
you know, the Birdman platform.
I know it is a Birdman platform for
You know what I
real.
mean?
That's hilarious.
Everyone's just chirping away.
Yeah, for real.
And they have opinions on people that are so like these people are succeeding.
Yeah.
These people are doing so great. And there's always
There's always going to be
One,
something.
yeah.
People's
There's
going to say something, you know.
Always. So it's that's the reality that I guess as artists we have to learn.
Yeah, I mean, it does toughen you up anyway, as you know, as
Yes,
a person.
it
you know,
does.
so you don't really need to care about what anyone thinks. It's about what you think about your art.
Yeah.
And what your intention is for
Your intention,
listeners, you know?
and art is subjective. That's one
It
thing
is.
I've realized. Not everyone's gonna love what you do. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you create for your people.
Yeah.
And those people will gravitate towards you, and that's who you make it for. you know?
Absolutely. So, with that being said, we can get into a young little break.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
Well, yeah. What are you playing? man?
What do you want to hear? We've got a couple songs from you, you know.
What do you,
I'll probably go and play something I got. But I've got a couple.
Yeah, go on.
what do I want? Okay, are we gonna make this like a Livi Tiz?
Yeah, you know the
play.
vibes. All right, I'm gonna play something. What about
Yeah.
No Better?
I was about to
Play
say
it.
that.
Let's go.
Hey,
Come on, man.
That's what I'm
Let's
talking
do it.
about.
All right then.
Yeah,
This is
okay.
No Better by Livi Tiz.
Livi Tiz.
Perfect.
I be rolling up a check, pulling up a flex, diamonds on my neck. Yeah, always looking checks, is how I'm set patterns in my head. Yeah, it's funny you don't know better. You should really know better. What you take me for? And I'm patting little hope. I know what I'm doing and I'm never losing, and failure is choosing. 10 steps ahead in the game. I ain't losing.
That's my mic, brother.
Pushing 100, yeah, you can't do this. Versatile, mommy, yeah, you love to do it. Going hard as I believe I will do it. All I see is one goal, yeah. I'm in my lane, don't move slow. I be rolling up a check, pulling up a flex, diamonds on my neck. Yeah, always looking checks, studies how I'm set patterns in my head. Yeah, it's funny you don't know better. You should really know better. It's like you don't see the potential. Hating on me must be mental. You way different to me, and that's how I like my credentials. Running to my checks, only my love and my hustle can make me do this. Yeah, we're two different breeds. Bad energy, stay far away, please. I'm on my way, I'm stepping in clean. But you knew that you was just underrating me. Yeah. I be rolling up a check, pulling up a flex, diamonds on my neck. Yeah, always looking checks, studies how I'm set patterns in my head. Yeah, it's funny you don't know better. You should really know better. It's funny you don't know better. You should really know better. Yeah, it's funny you don't know. You don't know. You should really know better.
We should know better. Yeah.
That's Livi Tiz. No
Vibes.
better. You guys go stream that. What's that
Right
on Spotify,
now.
Apple Music, all streaming
Everywhere.
platforms.
Right now.
And I mean, what was the inspiration before that? Because I was saying to you off mic that it's got a little bit of IMDb kind of influence there, you know?
Yes. So for me, the influence of the actual lyrics was, you know, for anyone that's doubting where I can go, you should really know better because, like,
Tell him.
you know, the talent's there. Like, it's there. I've got the creativity. It's there. So
Talk your ish, girl.
Believing in that source.
yeah, you know, you should really know better. Like that is the hook. So in terms of the message of the song, in terms of the sound, I think it's me. Like it's an auditory representation of who I am. Like it's just a bit, you know, like a little like chill, not too skippy, but like there's still that excitement to the song, but it's still like, you know, we're just vibing. Like
I like
very
it.
zen.
Listen, it's a vibe, and I think it's almost like everyone can come to the party and dance with you. That's what I get from it as well.
That's what I want. So that's good that you.
That's what performing that must be. Lit,
I can imagine.
I mean, I got a performance next Friday, so if you want to see this song live,
you know, we'll plug that at the end. Definitely,
yes, 100%.
definitely. But
Absolutely.
it's lit. So what I was gonna ask, like in terms of music, anyway, what else are your influences? Because I'm not gonna reveal your age on radio, but I'm just saying that in terms of like the generation that you grew up in, I know you've probably got different types of influences as well.
Yeah, I think I grew up in like the transition generation between millennials and Gen Z.
Gen Z, okay, right, slap bang in the middle.
Right, slap bang in the middle, where like I can go either way.
Right.
Like,
okay.
so I've obviously had like the whole parents wise, you have the whole like 70s, 80s kind of the Motown's more 60s, but it's the Motown that was a bit more disco. It's coming, so it's coming into that. That was always like.
Who was playing that like in the house?
My more so my mum and my auntie. Like they grew up in Europe, and I think European radio tends to focus heavily on like American music. So they were always getting access to like US songs, and US in the like 80s was very just disco. Like you know, it was the big afros and the flares and the disco balls. You know what I mean? So it was like
it was a cool era.
Yeah, it was cool. So that was what they grew up on, and then I was born in the late 90s, so then we still had that transition of like 90s R&B, which was I guess on MTV, on the radio. It was everything, you know, everyone was playing that. And
MTV bass,
like we loved it. We loved the beautiful vocals and the women, and the, you know, it was a very like I want to say talented era. Like,
you're right.
It's the golden era.
We're talking about how people weren't even scared to love them days. Like,
people were in love.
They were singing to their knees and
singing
everything.
The rain,
singing the rain, top off and everything. Like,
chest.
Do you know what I mean?
It was real talent, though. Real talent.
The same guys. Yeah, you don't want to meet them on road if you cross them wrongly. But on the mic,
they're giving you beauty,
just
like
pure love. You know
what I mean?
And they weren't scared to do it. You know,
they weren't scared. So that was always like nice to hear. And then that's obviously like my childhood. And then you get to a stage, I think, where you're in your early teens, mid-teens. You're going to secondary school, right? You have more access to decide what you want to listen to.
That's when you kind of hear all the current stuff that's around.
Do you know what I mean? You start to hear people that are probably in their 20s, they're coming up in music, and you are their consumer. So you're hearing a lot more, I'd say a lot more rap when I was starting to go into obviously there was US rap, but a lot more UK rap, or even if it was US rap, it was a lot more alternative. And
Who's like the ones that stick out from them?
Do you know what? I always say my early influences of rap, my own choices of choosing to listen to were ASAP Mob. And then when Drake was coming up, it was that kind of era where I was like, oh, like this is what I want to choose to listen to. I'd have my headphones on a bus on the way to school, and Drake would drop an album. And you're listening to that album on the way to school.
I bet you can remember when you listened to that album.
Oh, I remember.
Take Care as well. Like you see,
early Drake was good.
Early Drake, and
Drake was different.
He was perfect because he was that mix of R&B, but still giving you rap.
He was the guy that was willing to take the risk.
Yeah,
them days when everyone was rapping, he was the guy that was willing to be the soft guy, and it was like, oh, I heard.
But
this
he
before.
was just as hard when he came hard. When he came on the track, he was giving you bar after bar after bar after like crazy. So I think that was like my first choices of I chose to be influenced by that kind of music, you know. And I guess like No Better, you guys mentioned that I was kind of rapping on it. It's like more of a melodic rap, which I guess people like Drake
influence
do. You know,
100%.
so somehow it's affected me to make my own music.
100%. That's amazing. So, you know, we've now, you know, kind of got a nice background of you. And I want to talk about the newest single. Okay.
Let's go.
Everyone hold your drinks up, hold your drinks up, hold your drinks up.
We've been drinking all day.
We're talking about cheers, guys.
Cheers.
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 And cheers to everyone at home who's got a drink on them.
Yeah,
know
bro,
the
man.
That's
If
true.
you guys are locked into the Millennial Load Up, make sure you take a shot as well. You know what I mean?
Take some lemon juice, you know.
But yeah, so talk about a little bit about the new one. That's it's come out maybe over a week ago.
Yeah, just over.
Just over a week
Yeah.
ago.
So Intoxicated. You know?
Hey, and we actually played
And
it
then
on the
you
show.
were like, you know, he was dancing, you singing to it.
You know, Intoxicated. I
No,
saw
I'm
you.
telling you, I was feeling it. I can't lie to you. I was listening on the way here. I was like, you know what, I like it. So
Oh,
it's a bit
thank
of a
you.
vibe. you know?
Yeah.
And we're running the theme as well. Yeah,
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
running
This is what I mean. My
Yeah.
my theme as an artist is just enjoy. I just want to give enjoyment.
Yeah, soft life.
She's
I
so
like
much
it.
better than
Listen, enjoy my soft life. Like, please just enjoy. Like, every time I'm with you, I want to enjoy. Like, this is me.
should be
So
like
I
that.
guess
Good vibes.
yeah, you have like this life, right? I think especially as we've come out of COVID,
Hey,
you just have to appreciate life.
Yeah, celebrate.
You have
coming
to
out of COVID.
appreciate life because some of us, you know, didn't make it. R.I.P. R.I.P. to those. And for us that did, there was like, I guess, a 2-year gap in our life, if you want to think of it. Like, it depends
it
how you
was.
think of it as, but it's a
There
2-year.
was a time period.
It was like
Yeah.
a blank time period that just got inserted in, and you know what? It was almost like he was the same age for
Literally
2
for
years.
2 years.
Literally.
It was almost like
When
that,
I think about, like, last year was 2021. When I used to think about last year, I used to think of 2019.
Right.
Like 2020
Right.
just skipped my mind.
Right.
So for me, it's like even more so now that we've come out of this, come out on the other side, whether it's, you know, the other side is good or bad. Lots happening in the world
There's
right
a
now.
lot happening in the world.
A lot
right
happening in
now.
the road right now.
Perfect.
But I think there's even more reason to just enjoy, and Intoxicated is a perfect example of, you know, just let go, feel the vibe. Like, intoxicated doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be intoxicated of alcohol, right?
Okay, so we got, you know, I got to ask, you know,
Yes.
the visual.
Yes.
What was happening? You know,
So-
because we need a little breakdown because
Yes.
I was seeing what's happening. There was vibes.
It's
you know?
it's very take what you want from the vibe, you know? Take what you want from the visual. that was all I was given. I didn't want to give specifics, but
Yeah.
take what you want, you
Yeah,
know?
sure.
Um,
So you don't want to give too much away.
I mean,
let's hear it, bro.
We'll
I'll
go
give
here in a
you
sec.
my understanding of the song and then how I came to the visual.
Yeah.
So, intoxicated doesn't mean just off alcohol, right?
Okay.
You can be intoxicated off of vibes.
life.
You can be
Of
intoxicated
vibes.
off life.
Yeah.
You can be intoxicated off of a person. You can, you know, intoxicated is another word to say maybe infatuated,
Yeah.
and that can be like. Again, it can be your alcohol. That's fine. It can be your drugs. Not that I'm promoting it, but people do what they do. It can be another person. It can be a hobby.
Yeah.
Like, you can just be so into it that you're drunk off of the vibe of it.
Yeah.
And so I think for me, the visual, I wanted to be a bit more like, not literally, like, obviously we were literally intoxicated in the visual. So go check that out if you haven't checked it out. It's on YouTube. But it was also an expression of saying you can be intoxicated off of someone's energy and having a good time with that person.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's
I mean, the best connections you usually feel like an intoxication.
yeah, like, I mean, Beyonce said it best, drunk in love.
Yeah.
So, you know, you can be
Definitely.
drunk in love off of many a thing. You know, love is not just about people.
Absolutely. Well, let's get into Intoxicated.
Let's hear
by
it.
Livi Tiz. Yeah.
Cheers.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. It's 3 in the morning, and yeah, we're zoning. Morning postponing, cause drinks stay pouring. Pouring liquor up, room spinning. We about to. You can taste it in my mouth, tastes like Hennessy. Caress my skin, goosebumps on me. There's no place I'd rather be. Just you and me, intoxicated, straight vibes for free. Intoxicated, 1, 2, 3 shots. I swear swear we made it to the peak, to the top. Intoxicated, 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 intoxicated. 1, 2, 3 shots. I swear we made it to the peak, to the top. Intoxicated, intoxicated, intoxicated. 4 or 5 in the morning, I don't even know. Sun is rising, rewind the time, make it go slow. Don't wanna discuss the sober shame of tomorrow. Just wanna stay under the influence of you and give a show. You can taste it in my mouth, tastes like Hennessy. Caress my skin, goosebumps on me. There's no place I'd rather be. Just you and me, intoxicated, straight as for free. Intoxicated, 1, 2, 3 shots. I swear we made it to the peak, to the top. Intoxicated, 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 intoxicated. 1, 2, 3 shots. I swear we made it to the peak, to the top. Intoxicated, intoxicated, intoxicated. Put it on me, you got the key, don't make me bleed. Put it on me, it's me and you, this cup makes us 3. Put it on me, don't think of what will be tomorrow, blurred reality. Intoxicated, 1, 2, 3 shots. I swear we made it to the peak, to the top. Intoxicated, intoxicated, intoxicated.
See, I don't look like waiting, I don't see. I will never forget the 90s. Many nights I go there beg for mercy. Sickle self been showed me crisis. Thank you for the journey, oh Lord, oh Lord. If I say my story, oh wow, oh wow. Fire can't cool, I'm ever blazing. I roll deep with the Almighty. I did try for myself. VIP no regular. Can't copy this formula. I hear 5-star Angel. I did try for myself. VIP no regular. Can't copy this formula. Money in a filter, don't let them fool ya. Make your rubber, stack your paper. Let them know when you pull up, pull up. Man down when I pull up, pull up. I'll be a leaker, fuck the chaser. Bang, 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 Undertaker. They scared when I pull up, pull up. Yeah, roadman fear when I pull up, pull up. Only from me cartoon and I be rapping. Shout out to a gege that city raised me. Ask my crew, then they love me, love me. Then call me AG baby. Our government no get time for ghetto. We only get love on manifesto. I pray for my people. Ciao, ciao. I hear 5-star Angel. I did try for myself. VIP no regular. Can't copy this formula. I hear 5-star Angel. I did try for myself. VIP no regular. Can't copy this formula.
Yes. VIP, regular. We're not regular. It's millennial load up. You know, we come with the splat and that's how we're trying to come. You know?
Go with a splat, Millennial Load Up. And listen, and everyone locked in. Listen, Millennial Load Up's now on YouTube. You guys go subscribe to that YouTube. Oh, I Live Radio, Millennial Load Up. You know what it is, Boss Tips, Trip Larry. Do you know what I mean?
You know the vibes.
Yeah.
You know, just one more thing I wanted to ask. You know, who was the collaborator on this song?
So
Intoxicated.
we had an amazing producer who's also a lovely artist.
Okay.
He goes by the name of Mike's Pro. He specializes, I would say, more so Afrobeats vibes.
Okay.
However, a specialist doesn't mean you don't have talents. Many other. This man.
Talents of all trades.
Yeah, this man, any genre, got it on lock. You know, someone that's like a fast learner.
Yeah.
You'll show him
yeah.
a new, let's say a genre he's never heard of, within the session, within the 4 hours. By the end of it, he would have got it locked.
Amazing.
nice.
That's
Amazing
really good.
talent.
So are we gonna hear
Those are
some?
the best people to work with, man.
Yes.
Nah, for real. Are we gonna be hearing some more new things?
Oh, 100%. 100%. There's lots in the vault.
I'm a piano.
You know what? Only if it comes naturally. I would never
Absolutely.
do anything that doesn't.
What did you?
that's
And we
forced.
don't want it if it's forced. We don't want it if it's forced. I'm saying, like, if you're not,
If you're not, listen, me, I love me some of my piano. I would never force it though. You know, if it was ever to come naturally, then it will come. But hey, it's a beautiful genre, so I can appreciate it from afar.
Straight from the motherland as well, man.
Amen.
Appreciate
absolutely. So, you know, thank you for coming down.
Thank you for having me.
The interview's over. See you later. No, I'm joking.
Bye.
No, but absolutely, we're about to, you know, we've got a couple topics.
Yeah,
Okay.
man. Let's
But
talk to
lastly,
some music.
before we do that, what's next for Livi Tiz? What can we expect from you? What are we going to witness next?
For me,
Movies?
I would.
You got this show, right?
Me?
You got a show coming, you said?
You got this show coming.
Oh yes, my performance. Right.
She was like, have I got a show?
I thought you meant like.
you manifesting?
I thought you meant actress. I thought you meant like I'm gonna start acting. I'm like, oh, man. But yeah, no. So yes, next Friday I am performing at the Hard Rock Cafe.
Hey, and where's
The
that?
Hard Rock Cafe.
Where is
It's
that?
in Mayfair.
Okay. Oh, I know what it is. I know exactly
yeah,
what that
it's
is.
by the Park Royale. I want to say.
Piccadilly Circus. Right?
Yeah. So I'm really excited for that because you know the Hard Rock Cafe is like a legendary venue across the world. As we know, it's like a cafe.
Some of the
restaurant.
greats have performed there.
Yes, it's like a cafe restaurant, but it's known for its music. It's like a venue kind of like no other, where it transcends across culture, I guess. So yes.
What's your time slot? If there's that even.
Well, if you follow me on Instagram,
which
is Livi Livi.tiz Tiz. If you follow me on there,
Not if. Please follow.
Oh yeah, follow.
She's right.
Follow
Follow on
me.
there.
Follow
Because
me.
I even saw it late. I just followed today. I was like, oh, wait a minute.
I
What's
know you
up?
bougie.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it gets crazy in the request, you
You
know.
say
but-
crazy to request. I love that. I
but,
love that.
Yeah, I see it. I was like, she can come in.
Relax.
I like her. She's cool.
Make
still.
sure you guys
Make her
follow.
cool,
Exactly.
bangers.
Follow,
Yeah.
and
So,
I'll be promoting. I'm letting people know exactly when, but stay for the whole show because there's an array of artists that are, talented that I think everyone should see.
Okay.
So yeah.
So going through this, I actually had one more question I was
Okay.
going to ask you. Do you know what I mean? It came to mind. Going through, navigating through the industry right now, what is one piece of advice that you feel like, do you know what? I feel like so many artists get asked this question, but if there's one thing that was practical, easily practical, that helped you business and creatively, what would it be?
For me, would be
If you want to answer one each.
I would say generally as business and artist, it is study your industry.
Word,
Study
word.
your industry. I went to music college to study music business.
Where did you go? Where did you go? Where did you
They
go?
deserve the shout out.
That's real. I like that.
If you want me to promote,
Sponsor me.
Sponsor us if you want that
You know
shout
what?
out.
There
Yeah,
are
bro.
an array of music colleges across London. Like we are in. That is in the least shadiest of way.
Yeah.
You know, like there's an array. Like I'm not going to say that there's one place because there's multiple places, and I think it's just about nerding for what you have a passion for. Like for me, learning the music business side has allowed me to, like, I've been approached with maybe certain types of contracts that I've been able to understand, and from understanding that, I've been able to say,
I'm good.
I'm good because I know exactly what should and shouldn't be in these.
Now I've got a follow-up question.
Oh God.
Okay, but do you feel like in this day and age, there's still an excuse to not know what sort of deals you're signing? With what you've just said.
That's a loaded question.
That's a crazy question, you know, bro.
That's
I signed a 360 last week, bro.
Why, bro? Listen.
I mean, I'm sorry about that.
I'm sorry, you know?
I'm sorry.
I got about 60 albums.
I'm sorry, bro.
Can you imagine? God forbid. Oh my God.
Boy.
That's a nightmare.
For real.
I think not everyone is.
Can there really be an excuse in this day and age? Can there?
Well, I've got an amazing music business woman.
All right, amazing segment.
And I feel like.
And who is this?
Yeah,
Who's
let's pick her up. Let's pick her up.
Yeah.
Baby, introduce yourself correctly.
Who's she talking about?
Correctly.
Nails guys, lovely to meet you all. Thanks for listening. So I've obviously worked in the industry for a while, and now I manage DJs in the house music scene. I'm a piano to be particular. Also creative consultant, but yeah, she can always come to me.
Okay, all right. So she's got someone in her corner looking after her.
100%.
Yeah, 100. And that's what you need in this industry. What I will say is that when you are making music, but like, it sounds like the music that you make is you. Yeah. And I say this to everyone, no matter what artist you are, whatever genre you're making, carry on making the music that is you, you know, because you meet so many people in the industry trying to shape you and try to push you in this direction, and it's only to please a certain crowd for a certain number of a short period of time. Do you get what I mean?
Mistakes can be made, and I think a lot of the artists just need to. Google is free, and there is a lot of information that you can find on Google if you're unsure about contracts or people coming to you, but it's easy to make those mistakes because sometimes the money looks good. And you know, everyone's circumstance is different.
Yeah, everyone's circumstance is different.
That's why I'm torn, because I'm like, the information's there. We live in an information era. However, again, everyone's circumstances is different.
True.
Everyone is not necessarily mentally or psychologically equipped or developed to deal with that information that could help them. That hence why we have people like managers in this industry, because not everyone is made to understand all this information. You know, sometimes you're just made to create, and that's a beautiful thing in itself. So
remember we was talking about the what's her name? Remember, you know the you know the FNF.
I love that song.
And then she went on the yacht with Yo Gotti, and then he's got the whole video.
It wasn't a yacht. Was it a yacht?
Private jet.
And she signed
the contract there and then, and with all the racks there. She didn't read it.
We don't know that.
That's what the first
that's what I was saying to you.
Guys, we don't know that because a lot of the time
it could be a performance.
Deals happen over a period of time. So the day you come and sign, it's already been looked over. However, that doesn't mean that she did. But we can't judge because we actually have no clue.
I feel like she should have.
And we was talking about it because I was basically saying to him, because he was like, she should have signed it. And I was saying to him, bro, like, she's just gone onto the private jet. There's racks there. You ain't just going to be like, wait, hold on. Can I just read this?
That's what image.
I said she should have read it.
Yeah, she probably did.
But yeah,
the way it
wouldn't have
happens.
looked good, like it just had an.
What I'm saying,
you mean she should have looked like she was reading it on camera?
Yeah, because she was like,
at least pretend.
She jumped to the private jet
straight away, and all the girls, all her bedrooms were just gassing, showing love, which was good, which was sick to see.
A lot of the time, what we don't see is that these contracts have gone back and forth for like a month. You're going back and forth with the lawyer, your lawyer, my lawyer. You're like it's back and forth. So the day you sign it, it's always the celebratory day where they bringing out the champagne, they're bringing out the this, they're bringing out. So you've read it already. You just signed that. But I hear you. Maybe you should have. When you've
got that one viral tune, I think when you're an artist, what you're saying makes sense. When you got that one viral tune and my man just hits you up saying, "Listen, you got this viral tune. I'm trying to sign you. I'm trying to give you 100 bags today, bro. I'm not trying to read it. I'm trying to get that 100 bags."
But you know what it is? So then that's a good point. So
some people are like that.
Although they've got the one tune, what are they actually signing?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's it. Signing contracts, it could be that they're not getting a good deal.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because it's like
Depends how long, it depends how much money, it depends what they're expecting of you, it depends what they are going to give you. Like, there's so many, like...
Yeah, but do you know what it is? I feel like
Yeah.
the record label is shady as hell. The structure is shady sometimes, you know. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
As long
Not
as-
for
as
everyone,
long as
but
you
if you know your business, if
Yeah.
you know your business,
Yeah, that's what I'm
it's
saying.
Amazing,
Yeah.
but
It's
don't
good to
let
get a
them
good
finish
music
you.
lawyer.
Yeah,
Whew,
good
the
music
finesse
lawyer,
seems
good
insane.
manager, and
So wait, say that again. Good music.
good music lawyer,
Yep.
good manager, and you yourself just be awake.
Oh, yeah.
Just have your eyes wide open.
Don't say they didn't tell you.
Yeah, for real, for real. Listen, you're getting some gems here. For real. Sponsor us.
Sponsor us. I'm just saying.
Sponsor us, for real. But yeah, no, for real, man. I like that, man. At the end of the day, like, the industry is competitive at the moment. You know what I mean? There's so many new talent coming through. We try to give you guys all the new talent Millennial Load Up.
We do.
And
We appreciate that.
No, that's some good advice. Try to get some exposure as well. But yeah, you want to give all of them your socials and you know where they can find you. So
Yes, so
what is-
Livi.Tiz
Dot Tiz.
on Instagram.
on Instagram and Livi Tiz on everywhere else. So that's Spotify, Apple Music,
Yeah.
Amazon, YouTube, whatever you listen.
And go stream that new single as well,
Yes,
man.
Absolutely.
Intoxicated is
And the visuals is on YouTube as well.
yeah.
The manager in me is screaming. Can you please spell it out for them, please?
Yes.
Hey, you know, hey Larry, she's me, you know. You understand?
Yeah,
you see the
yeah.
intrigues. I'm like, do
Yeah.
people understand how to spell
L.
though?
In case.
Go on.
Livi
Yeah.
dot Tiz. Exactly
Correct.
how it sounds.
You know,
Yes.
For real.
can't get it wrong now. You
What we
know?
got? What we
Exactly.
got for the end, bro? Talk to me.
We always have something for the end.
Yeah. We got about 9 minutes left
you
in the
know,
show, man.
I've been scrolling through.
Yeah,
Don't know if you guys been watching. You know, seen what's going on with BT.
BET or
Awards.
BET?
Oh,
Okay,
BET
BET.
Awards.
I think the nominations.
The
come out for
nominations
the
are
song.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they've
You know,
been
and I
out,
felt
yeah.
like it would be a nice discussion.
I've not
to go
seen it.
to go. Yeah, we won't.
Inform me.
We can go
We're
through
about to
them.
go through
Yeah.
them.
Love
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And do you know what's one that was really weird? Yeah,
Don't say it.
they had the best 16 of a song. I've never heard that as a
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
I said, that's
Okay.
new. I
saw
actually
that.
feel like it's actually a fair point.
It's
you know,
good, yeah.
Sometimes there's a guy that. What's wrong with you,
Bro, no, I saw
Why
that
you-
and I
uh-huh.
said it was good, but
Yeah.
in terms of what they had in there, I was like,
yeah, okay.
really?
Oh,
What do
okay,
they
okay.
have?
Let's go.
All right, okay. We'll start with that one. And where is it? So for the Sweet Six, it's called Sweet 16. That's kind of sus. I'm not gonna lie. Sweet 16. That's wild. Okay, it's got Drake, Churchill's Down. You know, Yak Harlow. You know, Yak, Young
Yeah,
Yak.
Young
you know?
Yak.
Feel yak.
Yeah,
Yeah, Young Yak,
and
Yak Hollow.
Yak Harlow.
Yak Harlow.
And then there's J Cole. Off the verse he done with Wale, Poke It Out.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Nice.
Like that song.
Nice.
Another J Cole for London. Featuring, you know, featuring
Bia.
Bia.
Bia, yeah.
Bia.
So
I mean,
I
okay.
love Bia. I love J. Cole.
Oh, did you like that song?
But that song
I
was
like that.
offensive to Londoners.
Yeah, it was.
I think it didn't make sense, but it made sense for her. If that
Yeah,
makes
you
sense.
know, that's what I'm saying.
You know
I
what
love
I'm
them as
saying?
artists, but that specific song,
Yeah.
at least if she got like a London feature, that would, oh, that know would have
That
been
was
like,
meant to be.
oh.
Hey, apparently she's from London.
She,
What?
Really?
You guys didn't know that?
Wait,
no,
what?
she's from like New.
Apparently she's
Boston.
actually got a background is from London, or she's lived in London.
She's
or
from
something like
Boston.
that. You know, I know that's where she lives
She's a
now.
Boston girl.
She's from Boston.
Okay.
Unless she lives in London for a little bit.
And I
hope
never
so.
knew.
Maybe she lived in London for a
That's
little bit, but
strange.
apparently she's actually a resident. Or something.
You know what? That when I heard that song, I don't want to just go off tangent, but I did feel like a remix was coming, and
I was hoping for
felt
one from like one of the London boys.
from
Yeah, surely, because they had-
Shout out Unknown T in the video.
Yeah,
I
he
think.
was in the
They
video.
done not just Unknown Team. There was quite a few guys
Yeah, yeah.
from
And
the
Flex
UK
God
scene.
Daps
Yeah,
directed
know?
the video as well. Shout out Flex God.
Shout out Flex God.
Yeah,
Shout out
he
Flex
did
Flex
his
God. I know
thing.
your prices are crazy.
Yeah.
But one day,
Flex was gonna come on here one
Yeah.
day.
by
bro.
God's grace, we're gonna get you on
Amen.
here. You know.
Yeah.
Nah, we have to because you're doing a lot. But I still felt like that should have happened. But let's go through the list.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Cool.
So we also have Kanye West, the City of God. You know. You know.
I like it.
Drake, Wait for You, featuring Future.
Yeah.
Future
Drake
and Thames.
and Thames.
Always got to say
And
Thames.
Always.
and Jada Kiss with Black Illuminati from the Freddie Gibbs tune.
Okay.
Nice.
So out of all the songs, guys, you know, we're gonna start right, left to
the
right.
worst person to
Oh, yeah. Okay, Livi. Are you sure?
I'm a house head.
Your house.
Okay, yeah.
Interesting.
I'm not. Would you say Churchill Downs on there?
Yeah, Churchill's
What,
Downs
as
on
in
there.
Drake's verse or
Drake's, of
or
course.
Hack
Wait, so
Harlow?
how
Not Yak Harlow's.
How many times was Drake nominated? Twice or 3 times?
3
I was
times.
gonna say, yeah, that's a bit.
3 times.
3, no, 2.
Okay.
Twice. And J. Cole twice.
Drake's
as well.
verse on.
And what song was Jack Harlow's?
Churchill Downs.
Churchill Down. And the first Drake song, sorry, I just need to recap.
That was the first one. Wait for you.
Wait for you.
Yeah,
That's what they do.
I don't even think it wasn't even. I can't even.
I think
Actually-
Thames made Wait for You for real.
Oh,
Thames
for
made
real.
that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Man,
me.
your takes
me
today, bro, man. Listen,
I missed, bro. I did my research, my
I
brother.
love it. Okay, so but who
I was gonna say, are they actually picking 16 bars from that?
Yeah, it has to be what.
So
Yeah.
which
What
bars is it?
16? What 6? Because I know
Charming.
Drake's verse on Wait for You is more than 16.
it is. I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
they
yeah.
were
So
just
which
more just
16?
talking
Okay, about the
feature.
verse.
Sweet
Okay.
16 might just
Yeah.
be the name, but they're talking about the verse.
Okay.
Okay.
Sus name though, but you know,
And the other J. Cole, sorry, I'm just trying to
J.
read.
Poke
Cole
it
and
out
Bia.
and Loden.
I love Poke It Out.
Okay.
Only because it's made for the girls.
Yeah.
So it's like one thing I like about J. Cole, right, is his versatility. Because that song is for the turn up girls. But J. Cole is very much a word. He means what he says.
Yeah.
When he's giving you the real rap.
He means what he says, and
he knows
says
how
what
to
he
connect
means.
the dots
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
the beats he jumps on.
That's what I'm saying. Like he would do 21 Savage, and then he's doing Poke It Out, and then he's just riding on his own tracks,
my
giving
God.
you real life stuff.
Don't let me have to go on a Drake,
Yeah,
J. Cole.
let's not do
So-
that. Let's not do that.
We'll go
You know
on
what
a
I
whole
mean?
J. Cole
She's
tangent.
tempting us to do this, bro, because we'll just
They have a
finish
lot
the
to go
whole.
through.
We'll
Yeah.
finish the whole show with J.
Okay,
Cole.
okay.
So
So
let's
me,
make
J.
a
Cole-
decision.
J. Cole's won
J.
that
Cole
one.
for you.
Yeah.
What
You
you
know me, bro. You know Churchill Downs all day.
Churchill Downs.
Come on,
Okay,
bro.
yeah, I feel. Yeah, I mean,
know what I mean?
I feel like that was a better verse. You know,
Yeah.
I would have gone for that as well.
Drake is crazy on that. It's crazy.
By the way, honorable shout out though, Jada Kiss Black Illuminati song.
Yep.
It's I'm not gonna lie, it's just on the sleeper. I might play that
Cool.
for y'all
Let's go.
to catch a vibe. We have impact track, which was you have a category called impact track.
We need
What type
a
of
controversial category.
Yeah.
So we've got About Damn Time by Lizzo, City of God, you know, 5 Year Foreign, Kanye and Alicia Keys, Family Ties,
Banger.
I love-
PS by Lato. We can't, you know.
Oh yeah.
We have to be very, you know, and The Heart Part 5, Kendrick Lamar, Woman by Doja Cat. And
Oh, I
the
like
problem with me in this segment is impact.
We need video of the
Yeah.
year, bro.
Impact is a bit vague
Yeah.
because
What type
a lot of these
impact?
songs I feel like really did numbers in the charts.
Yeah.
So they had that type of impact, you know.
I think
but
they mean more so like societal
Is it
impact
like-
of the message. Because obviously, when you've mentioned the latter song, you've mentioned City of God, and you mentioned Woman. These are all kind of like they had impact in
different ways.
yeah,
Yeah.
in what they're saying on the song.
Okay. So for you, what resonates?
I'm gonna say latter only because
Interesting.
the song was a fight back to the abortion laws in America.
Oh, deep.
So for me, as you know, as a woman, you know, it's women's rights are number one. So if she's coming out of a song, and she has this heat on her right now, she's like one of the most popping, you know, female rap artists. She's on the charts doing songs with Mariah Carey. So she has the platform. So I'm picking that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, there's nothing more to be said. To be honest. In terms of
Yeah,
that.
I don't need to vote again. Trust me.
Yeah, that's it.
that one
it.
for real.
That was
man.
it.
I won. What have you
So
got?
I'm
What have you got
trying
for video for the year though? Because we got like a
Video for the year,
But
yeah.
that's what I'm trying to see the visuals.
Visuals
If
for the
it's-
year.
If it's not family, if it's not family ties,
That's what I'm saying. Have I watched all the videos that they're going to be mentioned?
Do you know what's mad though? Yeah, I'll get into that just quickly. Yeah. But breakthrough artist of the year.
Oh, who's got that? Who's
We've
not?
got Baby Keem, Blast, Doechii, 5 Year Foreign, Glorilla, Nardo Wick, and Saucy Santana.
Saucy
We need a quick one.
Santana.
Saucy Santana.
Yeah, we did a quick one. Guys,
Interesting.
Alright, we ain't got time. I'ma say Baby King.
I would say Baby Keem.
Baby King isn't new though.
I know, but he's new now.
In terms of-
like the breakthrough.
Do you know what?
Okay.
Tell her
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I'm giving it to Blast. I'm sorry. Every time I hear Chosen,
Every
time I hear Chosen.
Yeah.
No, for real. I thought I didn't hear him on there for real.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
he was on there.
spitting.
Okay, last one. Best international flow. Okay, so we got Benjamin Epps, Black Sharif, Blackie, Central C. We got Knox on there. What are we saying?
We need
There's
Knox.
a couple more.
We need Knox.
Yeah, I was
But-
gonna say.
Central C or Knox? Who are we gonna give
I'm
it to?
giving this a Knox. I can't lie. That's just biased though. I can't lie.
Yeah, I like Nux, but I also appreciate Central C's talent as an overall creative. So it's really a hard. The things that Central C's doing for the UK right now in the States, it's very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, but is it because of that one song?
Guys,
No,
it's been crazy.
It's been crazy.
I feel like we can't even.
keep going.
We can't keep
hours.
lit.
That's been Millennial
Yeah.
Load Up.
You
We're
know?
back next week, man.
Let's
Thanks
go.
for having me, guys. Woo.
iLive Radio, supporting independent artists from around the globe.
Hey, what's good, y'all? This is Darian Dean.